Okay, so good morning. So as we have agreed na we will be using Kotlin as a language for our Android and development, so it would be a great start to have you introduce of what is Kotlin and then what would be the things that Kotlin have uh, what development can we do, or how is it really designed, or who, for what purpose has it really been created? So here, uh, first, our agenda would be we will be talking about history of Kotlin. What are the features? So what is there that Kotlin have than the other programming language? We'll also be talking about its architecture and how to run a Kotlin program and what are the IDE is there that we can work on to. So probably we will be installing the said IDE for this and also the demonstration. Maybe it's a separate video now for demonstration because this might take long for the lecture, which is about uh, Kotlin. So here, the first thing is we will be going into the history of Kotlin. So Kotlin, so the first version or the version 1.1, it was released during February year 2016. So it was their first official stable release, though there were some past or there were some version before, but it wasn't really an official release, but mga kuan pa sila, mga testing, development, and debuggings of the program itself. So mo na siya, the first version it was on February 2016, which is the version 1.1. So and to the prior year, which is year 2017, the version 1.2 has been released. So it was announced by Google. So remember hang we all know ba na the Android is now owned by Google. So that's why they have something to do with Kotlin jud kay they created Kotlin they developed Kotlin for the sole purpose for Android development. So kani Google announced the first class to support for Kotlin on Android. So mo tong Kotlin now is capable or is compatible with Android development, and it was version 1.2, the official release during 2017, and the next year of that is the version 1.3. So in 2018, they bring coroutines with it for asynchronous programming. So what do you mean by coroutines? So coroutines, it means nga na ay there is a certain thing that the program, you see, when we execute an application, it will always take memory man sa ato ang kuan device. And in that device is that remember that asynchronous man ang kuan na I mean synchronous man ang execution sa program. The default is synchronous to, and then the thing is, once a program is started or once a job is started, uh, what I mean of job here is a certain process, a data process of the computer. Once a certain job is started, it will never be like end, or it won't be ended just right away. So certainly, the next job would still have to wait of that certain process to be executed. So what is the disadvantage of that is that when a certain job is started and then it will take long time, or it will take much time for its processing kay we don't know, maybe the processing is too big or the processing is having some sort of errors, and then probably the other job isn't executed. So it would take much longer than if naapamantay available space sa ato ang memory, and then why not just we try to do coroutines. So that means we will be creating another routines for the another certain job so that if a certain job isn't done yet, another job could pass through. So they are implementing this execution sa version 1.3 of Kotlin. And the other one is the latest version, which is the version 1.3.30. So the official release for this was during 2019, May 2019, and it was during this time that Google announced that Kotlin is now the most preferred language for Android application developers nila. So it doesn't mean they created Android for using Kotlin, but rather they will be using Kotlin for their different software application sa Google. So, unsa may mga application sa Google nga naa sa Android. So, 'di ba like the Google Chrome version nga application sa mobile which is for mobile use. Remember ha nga it's different ra ba when we say the Google Chrome browser. When it comes to PC, they use different language on creating that. We don't know what kind of language. Maybe I've heard it was Python or if I'm not mistaken. And Moto, they use Kotlin for the mobiles or for Android. So mo ni ilang gi-prefer nga language for Android not only sa Google Chrome browser but also to their other platforms or other application which is Google Meet, uh, Classroom or another for almost everything nila nga application karon. So you see, there were some issues on copyright man gud before in terms with Java and Google. So na kay there were some issues about Java kay kuno gagamit sila and then without really getting the proper licenses. So Moto, the Google decided that why don't we try to develop a language that hasn't have to do anything with Java but is certainly connected to Java. So but the ownership is ilaha. So mo to siya. Take note lang ta diri sa different version and the different tiers of these versions of Kotlin. And aside from history here, we will be talking about Kotlin. So Kotlin, it's statically typed general purpose programming language. So what does it mean when you say statically typed? So programming language is statically typed if a variable is known at compile time instead of runtime. So you see, I think we have already executed some programs here naman siguro, no? From first year to fourth year. Even from the simple na to nga C programming, we were able to execute a basic program. And in that basic program, we will always be compiling our program before it will be executed. So what's one good thing about statically typed programming language is that they will check all the variable there is if naa by error or wala, if it's defined or wala. And what's one advantage about checking all the present variable is that during nasa execution or during nasa runtime, safe na ang execution sa imong program. It's less prone error na siya. Kay it have been checked naman. So pag compile time pa lang, na-check na and na-point na kung asa imong error. So by that time nga, nag-run time na siya, wala na kay issue nga masugatan along the way. Kay during pa lang sa execution or sa compile time is gi-check naman ang mga variable. But sa runtime is maybe nagihapoy mga execute errors but it hasn't have to do anything with the variables na. Maybe for your slight errors na lang like mga exceptions nga mga errors na ang inyong masugatan. Another thing is Kotlin. It's developed by JetBrains. So it's a new language for JVM or the Java Virtual Machine. And you know JetBrains is a company nga daghan na sad ni sila og mga application and IDE nga gipang develop. And one of the major goal of Kotlin is to reduce the compilation time than it is compiled to Java. So you see Java takes much memory or takes much time in terms of compiling. We might not be able to feel na we might not be able to feel na hinay ang compilation sa Java because you see our computers naman sad karon nowadays kay it's very high-end na, and then we are not now facing problems in terms of processing kay naka i7 10 Gen na, naka 8 gig RAM, na 5 video card. So paspas na kayo ang processing. So we might not be able to feel the the time taken by the compilation time. So, but that's one of the purpose or the major goal of Kotlin is to reduce the compilation time that it is compiled to Java. And another one, it's an open source project under the Apache 2 license. So, yes, it's under Apache gihapon na. And then open source, yeah. I think we already know what does it mean when it's open source. So, it's free of use. Wala tay free of cost or wala tay bayaran. And then it is the preferred official language for Android development since May 2019. So mo na ni it was officially supported by Google for mobile development on Android. So Google is the one of the person behind on the development of Kotlin as well. And it is included as an alternative to the standard Java compiler. So katong sa mga we still need katong JVR or JVM or the Java Virtual Machine in terms of this kay you see Kotlin and Java they are conjugate both similar yun. But what's one difference for them is that Kotlin is way more concise and way more faster than Java. So let's just take note of that. And then another is it's a programming language introduced by JetBrains. So they are the official designer of the most intelligent Java IDE, which is called as IntelliJ IDE, and it runs on JVM. Uh, and again, it's a strong statically type that combines OOP paradigm and functional paradigm features into one unique platform. So this is one good thing about Kotlin as well is that it's catering more than three or more or less three to four nga paradigm. So it supports OOP, it supports functional, uh, it's a two paradigm which is combined to create or to produce a unique platform. And uh, here, Kotlin and Java are interoperable. So what does it mean? How what does it mean being interoperable? So we can both use Java and Kotlin in a single project without causing really any problem. We can rewrite Java code into Kotlin. So if not a Java code, we can just convert it into Kotlin without really having any trouble, and we can reduce the number of line compared to Java. And what are the features? So what are the features of Kotlin? So here, first, it's concise. So what does it mean concise? You can approximately uh, less your code by 40% compared to Java. So kung taas imong code, pwede pa na nimo ma-lesser more or less 40% din the normal code. So kung 100 lines, mahimo na lang na siya 80 80 lines na lang. Yan na. And then again, interoperable. So it's highly interoperable to Java. So wala ra jay problema when we convert Java file or Java codes into Kotlin. This is one of the most good features of Kotlin. It's open source. It means that it's free of cost. Wala jud siya bayad. And then since Android as well is an open source man, so yeah, that's one good thing because you see, daghan man gud kayo mga software karon nga but ano there are softwares nga nindot, yes, they are good, but it comes with money gapon, it comes with payment. So we kuha lang sa siguro it's amazing to think that Google, Android and all the things nga ilang for development nila is open source. Siguro mao sang advance sila because it's open source. Daghan kay sila development nga pwede makitaan. Because almost everyone man can develop, can update or change the content of the Android. And more likely kay they will just be getting the same ideas from one another, which makes the application or which makes the software itself way better. It's trustworthy. So what does it mean trustworthy? Develop because it's developed by JetBrains. When we say JetBrains, man, good, it's one of the most known company in terms of developing different things. I not different things, but anything that is related to software development, application development, IDE development, even assembly language. They cater that kind of development. So that's one good thing. And then uh, it's feature rich. It caters several advanced features such as operator overloading, lambda expression, and string templates. So when we say operator overloading, I think we're very familiar with this. Uh, Say for example, when we say a symbol like operator like a plus symbol or ganong cross nga symbol, di ba, we can assume that it's an operation for adding two variables. Not only that it could add two variables, but we can use it as a for string nga pwede na to siya ma-concatenate. Not only for string, but it also works as mo na tong gingon nga operator overloading. We can add multiple action for that certain operator. Accordingly, to asa nimo siya i-insert nga part sa imong code. And lambda expression here is don't take it kuan. It's only a simplified representation of a function. So it has the same process with a normal function or a method. If you're familiar with Java and C, sa C ginatawag siya og function, and sa Java it's being called as method. It's not really different with these two, and it can also pass parameters, formal parameters, and store this variable or even returned as a value. So same process ra gid sila sa method ug function. And string templates. So katong mga different templates in terms of string handling, like multiple variables in one string, uh, array definition or array list definition or displaying all those available strings sa imong array. So kana mga string templates. And then less error prone. So because it's, statically typed as we have already said na said, nga it can catch errors at compile time and do type checking at compile time. So which results into a less error codes. So though nagyapon error, but it's lesser and it's way more safe, robust, and concise. So when we say safe, manggod, is that we are not afraid to create a variable that's already existing because it's already checked during compile time. And then uh here, okay, here. So architectures Kotlin. So as we all know, as what the Kotlin said, that it uh, run on run on JVM. So sa Java virtual machine na gyud sila mo run. And Kotlin has its own architecture to allocate memory and produce quality output to the end user. So we will come across to different scenarios here. So this is where Kotlin compiler will work differently whenever it is targeted to other languages. So like Java and JavaScript. And Kotlin compiler. So what happened here is that the Kotlin compiler will create a bytecode for JVM, a bytecode, and that bytecode will run on JVM, which is exactly equal to the bytecode that is generated by a Java class. So yes, it works the same with Java, once the compiler executed a Kotlin file, it will create or it will generate a bytecode that is compatible for JVM. So the same process ra sila sa normal Java that the Java will also generate mansad when a class is created, it will generate a bytecode which is compatible for a Java virtual machine. And then what's the next thing? So whenever the two byte-coded files run or two byte-coded files run on JVM, they communicate with each other, and this how can interoperable feature establish in Kotlin for Java. So kana whenever Kotlin targets a JavaScript, the Kotlin converts the KT file. The So what happened here is that when a Kotlin file will target a JavaScript file, so it will convert the KT file into kuan ra gyapon, into an ES5.1 file, a file that is executable on Java. So during that, that's a file or an application, not really an application, but only an algorithm that would convert a Kotlin file into a Java or a byte-coded Java file para mo execute gihapon sa JVM. And then, as it generates, it will create a compatible code for JavaScript. So this is what makes great about Kotlin because the compiler here is capable of creating platform-based compatible codes. So that means nga it's already provided, it's already there during execution pa lang. If you targeted a file for JavaScript, then a Kotlin file will automatically convert it uh, to target JavaScript file. But if it's only for Java, and then it will only result or it will only create a bytecode file for JVM. But that's more on architecture side na. And I think what's more important here is that we will be able to execute a Kotlin file in Android. So I think we don't really have to focus so much on architecture, but at least we would know how a certain process or how it happens behind. So this is more on assembly level naman sad, so it's not really much of a problem na sa inyo nga side because you are the high-end developers here man, the high-end language developer man. So here, what are the different IDEs that we can work on? What are the different IDEs that we can work on for Kotlin? So the first one is we can use Eclipse. I think we're all familiar with this. It can execute Java files as well, the Eclipse. And the most recommended one is the IntelliJ and also the Android Studio. So in my case, for the demonstration, I won't be using any of this, but rather I would be only using a website man, try.kotlin, kotlinlang.org. So kaning nga website, this will be the website that I will be using to demonstrate some Kotlin files or some Kotlin codes, I mean. So I think this is kuan man. I have also found this. It's recommended by one of the kuan videos that I have watched. Nga this is a good site for Kotlin practicing. So you can practice Kotlin here without any problem or without any trouble. But if you are focusing na gyud on development, is that di na jud siya suggestible. This is for learning raman and trying Kotlin. So, ano lang. So, ari lang ko dire sa Kotlin nga site. So, try.kotlinlang.org. So, ano lang. And then, I think that's it. So, the demonstration of codes will follow. I will be uploading it to Google Classroom once I started with demonstration. So, same process ra gihapon. We will be starting from the very basic, displaying hello world, input, output, flow controls, looping, array, functions or lambda. Yung ana. So, kuha lang, just way to Google Classroom because I will only be uploading these videos. And I think that sums up for this one, a lecture about Kotlin. So I hope you get something and thank you.